story starts back in 1969, when Tony Iommi, Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward were still calling their band Earth. So there was a movie theater across the street from their rehearsal space, and at the time it's playing the 1963 Boris Karloff film entitled Black Sabbath. The band observed how funny it was that people would line up to pay money to be scared, and it was like a light bulb went off. So the band went ahead and wrote a song called Black Sabbath, the concept being that they were creating the musical equivalent of horror films. 1969 was a really fascinating year. There were really hard rock bands like Hendrix and The Who, but there was nothing even close to as dark as the stuff that Black Sabbath was writing. They were so excited about this new song, Black Sabbath, that they decided this should be their band name, and they went forward with this heavier, deeper tone, and lyrics that were much more sinister than anything anyone else had done in rock music up to that point. What really elevated Black Sabbath's signature sound, and is said to possibly be the event that gave birth to metal music, was an accident that guitarist Tony Iommi was in at a sheet metal factory where he worked when he was a teenager. The incident resulted in him losing the tips of a couple of his fingers. Basically a death sentence to someone who was such a talented guitar player. Afterwards, he was feeling very low, and his friend and foreman introduced him to jazz musician Django Reinhardt, who lost the use of all but 2 of his fingers in a terrible fire, but persisted and continued to play the guitar despite his disability. This was inspiring to Iommi, who learned to play again using thimbles covered in leather, where the missing fingertips should be. Although this was a suitable solution, he wasn't actually able to feel the strings with his fingertips, so it made playing that much more challenging and resulted in a very unique sound. On 1971's Master of Reality, Iommi started down-tuning his guitar as a means of loosening the strings to make them easier for him to play, while simultaneously creating a deeper, darker tone. Geezer Butler down-tuned his bass to match, and this new dropped sound was used on the album and would be used forever in their music going forward. So although they may not have known it at the time, to this day Black Sabbath continue to be considered the founders and godfathers of heavy metal music.